Greetings there, my fellow space miners. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers' Brutal Vulcan. Episode 75, Building an Additional Ice Crusher. You wonder how horrible a no arc welder Vulcan run would be? Yeah, it would be pretty problematic pretty quickly. With that said, I believe in like challenges that like have some basis in logic. Challenge for the sake of challenge is sometimes not fun, in other words. So I don't sign myself up for like just painfully obnoxious ones. Okie dokie. Oh, the other thing is I haven't renamed the downlink for the Dastardly Dave. That's another thing we could do. So it's at 22% power. I was right to be low-key concerned. But cargo storage on, and then open 1. And we should see the export count go up. And then I'll do the same for the rocket miner, because the rocket miner has some internal... Actually, the rocket miner looks to be empty. It has already exported everything. Would a second airlock over here make sense? I mean, it could, yeah. Especially if it was like a powered vent airlock. Again, this would be a project to be voted on. Really, anything added beyond just getting the Explorer launched, which was voted on, is something that I would require to be pulled. I wouldn't mind that, but I'm not going to do it until it's voted. No, that's not what I wanted. Is the ice crusher... Well, that should be a plumbing thing. That should be a pipe bender. Iron, gold, copper. So now we want to crush the ice, and then we're also going to want to increase the amount of physical storage that we have for oxygen, because we will find ourselves exploding, and oxygen would be the worst pressure explosion to have on Vulcan, like, by a lot. And as it is now, there's not a lot of capacity in our O2 lines. So we're going to need, a new tank for that. But here's the thing. What I'd like to do is use this tank, repurpose this tank, rather than to make a new one. So, with that in mind, let's deconstruct this piece by piece so I can repurpose it. But here's the ice crusher, and I'll probably put the ice crusher like here once everything else is out of the way. I was gonna put it here, but I think I'd rather have them like that. With that in mind, let's make a little bit of space here. And I'm only really stripping out the bare minimum to be able to set up the ice crusher. I'm not going beyond that. And for now, I'm just going to make a mess in there. Okay, so this yellow pipe, what's in it? And can it be destroyed? It's empty, so no problems. This would have been steam that was using Vulcan atmosphere to cool down, because the steam was hotter than Vulcan's atmo. So that was the original intent of that pipe. So put that there. And there. Oh! It wasn't empty. Is that a problem? It probably only released a little bit of water vapor into the room. Whatever. Should have checked first, but like, a little water is definitely not going to kill us. That's the very opposite of what water would do. Yeah, now we have a relative humidity of like 0.01%. I don't know. Alright, in this orange pipe should be the coolant for the oxygen, and I can reverse remove the pipe, putting all of the gas ultimately into this tank, and then go up on the roof and uninstall that tank, ready for the foof of all the gas escaping, but then being able to repurpose that tank to add to our O2 network. So now all of the gas that we had in this entire network is now shoved into that tank and only into that tank. So this tank, well, it should be higher than 3 NPA now. 3.5. And some of the pollutants have liquefied. No problem. It's not going to rupture. Alright, good. That makes a lot more room for the ice crusher. Where is that four-way corner? Okay, that's still on. Everything else is still on. Good. Well, so far so good. I've removed a lot of stuff that was in the way, and it's fine. So this here cannot be removed. This is our launch fuel storage, and I'm going to want to move this somewhere else eventually. Well, let's go repurpose this tank, this water coolant small tank, so that it can become our extra oxygen storage. And then in order to actually build this crusher, we need 1 iron sheet. I think I probably need to print that. Oh, let's move this stuff too. I'm trying to stay tidy. I mean, honestly, it's easier said than done, because I have to remember where everything was installed, and it's a big pain, etc., etc. But, alright, that back shelf is full. Got it. Is this welded or wrenched? Oh, it is welded. 2 cable coils. Done. This is obviously going to go on the heavy watt line because the ice crusher requires a kilowatt per crusher, so. Oops. Yeah, whatever. I don't really need data connections just yet. So this ice crusher is built and ready for intake. I do have some sheets, so let's... Or chutes, sorry. Why is this... It's backwards. Close. Okay, that's totally gonna kill me. Oops. Yes, it was flowed wrong. Okay, so close, and then... Is this a straight section? Yeah, okay. We'll have another straight section there. Good. I don't have anywhere for the stuff to flow out yet. Obviously, that's the next part of the equation. So let's go repurpose this O2 to add to the O2 network. So it looks like oxygen comes in here, and I could probably hook up this pipe to a tank installed on the same wall. Maybe like floating like the last one was, just because it won't interrupt any of the logic on the wall. But before I do that, I'm going to need food again, I think. But we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm going to do separate lines rather than like a sorting logic, and because the cost of the chutes are really inexpensive, and then on top of that, there is the use case where we're moving stuff multiple at a time. And also, the sorting logic is mostly done in like IC code, which I'm not going to be using. So, for all of those reasons, I'm setting up double. Bring the white paint? Yes, I will be bringing the white paint to paint the tank. And possibly the lines. I wonder how much water is in this tank now. I'll check. But I don't feel so bad about, like, drinking water. 700 liters. Last I checked, it was like 388. So, yeah, I mean, we have some water, guys. 700 liters of it. Let's set up a Vulcan golf course. Well, for that I would need many orders of magnitude more water, but still. We can get a black hole in one. I've heard about the eagle landing, but, you know, we can land the birdie too. Alright, I'll stop. I'll stop, I promise. So I think the order of operations is I'm going to uninstall this tank, and then I'll figure out how to hook it up, because I don't physically know where that tank is going to go first. So let's just grab it and try not to get, like, launched into the moon when we... It's actually not as pressurized as some of the old tanks that we used on install, so it should be fine. I should survive this. Hopefully. Why is this... Oh, this is our... This should be named. Okay. So, this is the water coolant tank small. Jetpack is on. My back is not to a physical object, so I can go flying. Because I didn't want to get, like, thunked into a wall while doing that. So I took every precaution that you could, doing something that OSHA would say, what the f-? You know, so, like, yeah, I'm not dead. I also didn't grab my, like, white paint. So, go me! And we'll just have the... I'll just put the O2... Oh god. That's not where I'm installing it. I heard creak noises. My volatiles. What is... Why do I have so many volatiles? Is that what's creaking? It must be. Because Wasteline's only at 40. So I need to add more... Oh. I need to add more volume for the volatiles. I don't recall actively filtering volatiles. So I'm not really sure why it's... Is this on? No, it's off. Huh. I'm low-key at a loss as to why that's happening. Well, whatever. I can fix it. This is a liquid. This is a gas. Okay. The failure point is not 50. The failure point is like 58 or whatever. So it is. It groans for a while before it goes kablamo. And this is like a hacked fix. I'm just like sticking inline storage on top to relieve the pressure. Ultimately, it should have a tank of its own, but that wasn't what was groaning. Oh, you know what it was? It's the ceiling panels where the tank I just uninstalled were, because they got heavy, high pressure gas, so I need to fix those. That's fine. That actually puts me more at ease, because if my volatiles storage was like becoming pressurized unbeknownst to me, that'd be a lot scarier, to be honest. Okay, back to the oxygen, because obviously I'm not installing it like that. I just threw it down so that I could fix the other problems sooner. Okay, apparently I can't visualize 3D space all that well. There. No, still no. Oh my god. There! Yeah, I did it! Shut up, jetpack. Alright, so this is going to be our O2. And white paint. Bye-bye. Unfortunately, because white paint bye-bye means I can't color my pipes. So I need to hook up the aux line here to that tank there, but there's easier ways to do it. Time for a mild duct tape. So, duct tape is for when your suits rupture. When it's like wall panels, it's re-welding steel to it. So if you look at the ceiling here, you need a steel sheet to repair to complete this task. So that one's fixed. What the hell? I thought there were more than one that was broken. That's weird. That should not have fixed all of the ceiling panel problems, but the groaning went away, so I'm assuming it just like magically did. Whatever. Alright. Back on task. Let's make white paint. Because I ran out. Hey! Thieved! My name was thieved? What was your name? And how was it stolen? And thank you for the sub. You are one of my newest followers too, so I doubly appreciate it. Don't question it, just accept it. Yeah, I'm so good at repairing that I'm 4 times more efficient than what is even reasonably to be expected. Yeah, that's my answer. Okay, we need to replace our propulsion tank. And I might as well do O2 and waste while I'm standing here. Ah, you wanted to watch the rest from Blade Song. Well, alright. Appreciate it. Glad you liked that, that series. So from here, this is where our O2 line is, and our tank is like... You know what? I'm gonna go outside. It takes a little bit longer, but I'd rather shove a white pipe in where the O2 tank connects to, so that I know how to run my line, because I can't see it from here. So ideally it connects somewhere there. Cool. Atmospherics, man. So complicated. So just to reiterate, what we're doing is we're adding extra storage to store oxygen, because we're about to crush a whole bunch of ice that is mostly just frozen oxygen. And I do not have the amount of room in my base to store that oxygen. And if you don't, it would rupture and go boom. And rupture and go boom is like not good. So I'm sure I'm running my plumbing for this like all sorts of bad. But I'm trying to work fast, not nice. Ouch. Oh, you know what? I can't run it here because this is in the way. Shoot. Alright, fine. I'll do it like this. I'll do a straight... So I can run it down here. Because that doesn't interrupt anything. So this white line needs to connect... Ow, for the love of... I don't love covering up the panel. Well, no, I could still interact with it. It ain't perfect. It's quite bad. But it's how it's gonna be. Alright, so this straight 5 is gonna have to get trimmed. Into a straight 3. Done. Some messy plumbing. Let's just say I didn't pass my apprenticeship. But, TLDR, it works. So, if I did it correctly, this line should have oxygen in it. And only oxygen. Check. And then the tank is somewhere out there. So yeah, we have a lot more oxygen storage now in our base, which means we can connect the ice storage and start crushing the ice. And then the oxygen that comes out of here needs to... So, actually, let's go back. The stuff that's getting crushed is not pure oxygen, right? So if we go back to the panel, just as a reminder, we collected oxygenated vapor, which is oxygen and a little bit of carbon dioxide. So when we crush the ice, it is not pure oxygen. It's 20 parts oxygen to 4 parts carbon dioxide per ice that we crush. And the question I have for you guys is... what to do with the CO2? Dump or collect? So we have a lot of CO2 because the... Oh, that's not where the pole should be. We have a lot of CO2 already because the water that we've been crushing has CO2 in it. But what I was thinking of doing is, right now, this oxygen filter just filters out the farm. It's basically a farm filter. And I'm going to rename it as such because I'm probably going to have a second oxygen filter. And I'll explain why in just a moment. O2 farm filtration. Because if we feed it to this thing, I could do a one-way valve so that the gas coming off of the farm and the ice crushed here don't mix. But if I did that, the waste gas output of the crushed ice would feed back to the farm and pressurize it and possibly freeze our plants. So basically, I don't want to mess with the greenhouse setup, which includes this filtration unit. So I'd be setting up a second filtration unit to filter the gas coming off of this ice crusher. What was this temp set? 278? Let's do the same over here. So there's not going to be any liquid coming off of this, but the gas coming off of this will be, if it's carbon dioxide, it will be here, and then if it's oxygen, we'll have to go to the oxygen. And it looks like you guys want me to collect it. So let's do that. Let's plan on that. What that means is getting our atmospheric kit that we had and setting it up to filter oxygen and carbon dioxide. Which I could combine the two systems and make it more elegant, but that's going to take me a lot longer, which is why I'm not doing it. Realistically, having more than one filter per element is like, understandably wasteful, but like, it's just easier this way, and it doesn't threaten our farm, so that's why I wanted to do it. So there we go. We've got a filter for that, and the filtered output can be for oxygen, so we just need to connect to this white pipe line here for the filtered output, and then the unfiltered output's actually the unfiltered output's even easier. So let's grab yellow. Oh, right, I never put the master pipe back. Let's grab yellow. So the unfiltered stuff is carbon dioxide, and that's going to feed to here, because this is our carbon dioxide. That's honestly not the best place for that. Oh, are we done? Oh, sweet release of eardrum drumming. Well, that's all our water ice. Took a while. Okay, and then the filter stuff is going to be oxygen, so we'll hook that up. That, in this case, I'll probably just put this to the roof. I'll just create a 3-pipe, and then we'll figure out the rest of it up there, because I could hook up the mesons, but I'm not going to be able to complete it until I'm outside anyway. Do we have more insulated pipes anywhere? Yes. Instead of printing up some new ones... Ooh, that's my fuel tank. Can't touch that. Can't touch that. No, actually, most of the old systems here are stripped out. I mean, I am going to remove the H2 combustor eventually, but this tank will... and move this tank. But there aren't really pipes to recapture from that system at the moment. So instead... insulator pipes here? Yes, 4 of them. That's a start. Okay, we'll have to print up some... Oh, that should be there. Print up some new pipes. Shaking my head because the the lever was open. So, in the big scheme of things, we're getting really close to being able to crush the oxygenated carbon dioxide ice, or whatever you want to call it. Once this pipe is hooked up to the oxygen line, all that's left is to run chutes to that thing. And to let a rip on the silo. And then we'll have oxygen galore. And at that point, our main source of oxygen is going to be from space rather than from the farm. It's not to say that I'm going to, like, stop farming, because the farm is absolutely a nice backup, and it's like a security blanket at that point. Plus, you know, we need to eat food. We can't just not eat food. But our reliance on the ferns is going to be much lessened. In fact, we might even just remove all the ferns and be able to plant only the crops we want to consume and eat. That's a possibility as well. Speaking of eating, let's top up. I haven't moved the waistline, yeah. The reason why I didn't want to move this pipe there is it does run this air conditioner, so we're going to have to re-hook up that air conditioner at some point. So you're right, this waistline can be removed, but not the way it is right now, because I rely on it still for the crew quarter AC. That can be cleaned up, I acknowledge. It's just, I can't do that from inside, so I can't remove this at the moment. Alright, let's get that aux line hooked up. Should the liquid output from the second ice crusher have a output to the outside just for safety? No. Because if a liquid's coming out of my oxygen and CO2, liquid oxygen and liquid CO2, you can't crush ice that cold. That chute isn't gonna work. I have a whole different subset of problems if that's coming out cold. I'm basically already dead. One of those is not a bad idea, but like functionally speaking, it's so much not a concern. All right, so we'll you know, I'm stupid. I'm gonna go back inside. I need to... I don't know where the closest point to connect the O2 line is, so I need to poke a pipe up through the roof. So from there, it would be here, maybe? This merge? Oh, it overlaps with the... Okay, one lower than this then. What I wanted to do is to have, like, plumbing that I'm short enough to fit underneath. So I can walk around here. And have that be sort of like... I mean, obviously this orange line isn't the case, but I could always reroute that. To have that be the standard going forwards, so that traversability is, like, not obnoxious on my roof. Alright, done. One pipe to spare. Cool. And just to confirm, yep, that's oxygen. Also oxygen and bottles. And then oxygen. Perfect. All right, we are ready for chutes. So I am going to reroute the chutes a little bit. So this chute here. Oh, what the hell? Okay, well, bye-bye water. Why did the thing stop if it wasn't... Well, we're making a puddle on Vulcan. I live with it. We really didn't need that much water, but I thought the chutes were empty. It's my mistake. I was going to make this higher. Wow, that's so funny looking. Taking a bath. This, if any ice was to escape, the water ice, far less violent than the ox ice. Ox ice would be, So, alright, before I hook up the new chute, let's... There's something weird going on here where, like, it didn't actually use up. It just stopped for some reason. So let's keep running the old one until we're done. I don't know why it just all of a sudden stopped. Bit of a head scratcher. Let's go check on it. I guess the ice crusher just like jammed up or something stupid. Open. Oh, yeah, now it's crushing. Okay, that's fine. What I'll do instead is this will run side by side. It's like, not a problem. I was just going to have them layered vertically, but I'll just layer them horizontally. It makes no difference to me. I just thought it was done, and I was wrong. So now that chute system will run over. So let's print up a whole bunch of chutes and connect it up. And I'll just have to be abundantly cautious going forward that I don't release ox ice like that ever. Where's my iron? Oh, I made it paint, didn't I? So how many chutes do I need? Like 10, 20, 30-ish, maybe? The other thing is... this bad boy doesn't have filters yet. So the filtered is oxygen, so let's make a heavy ox filter here for it. That would be real bad if we forgot to filter. So Invar Stellite. There's 2 stacks of chutes. And the input line is still missing too. True. Oh god, if I hook up the input, I'll have the... This corner of the base is going to be like a dead zone. If I hook it up here. Whatever. It's a problem for future me. Screw future me. What I can do is I can have it be above my head. So it's not like a complete dead zone. Just think, this is the how not to design. You're getting a free crash course on what not to do, so you're like, welcome? All right, so the input line. Hold on. Now, frickin'. Ah! There we go. The input line for the filter works from the output of the ice crusher, and it is turned on, has a filter, and is ready to receive stuff. Good. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Radamat.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Radamat.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.